Every mother in the village knew the lullaby. They sang it to their children for centuries, until the night a grieving mother wove her sorrow into the melody. The next morning her child was gone. Only a single tiny handprint, burned into the cradle, remained. They say if you sing that lullaby now, even hum it under your breath, she comes. Not for you, for your child. You're sitting alone in a dark room, maybe your bedroom. All the lights are off, but there's a soft glow coming from underneath the door. It's the kind of light you can't quite place, not moonlight, not firelight, but something else entirely. The story revolves around a mother whose child has been taken away from her, and she wanders the countryside searching for her child. In this case, if you hear the lullaby, you must not sing along. No matter how beautiful the melody sounds, no matter how tempting it may be to join in, it's a deadly mistake. To do so is to invite the ghost and her sorrow into your home, a sorrow so powerful it will steal your child away and leave you empty forever. He collected them directly from the people who lived in remote villages, far from the prying ears of modern society. And one day, while visiting a remote mountain village, he met an old woman who told him this haunting tale of the melody that brings death. According to the old woman, this lullaby was known throughout the region and was passed down from mother to daughter for generations. It wasn't just a lullaby, it was a part of their culture, their history, their very souls. Then he heard it. A faint humming at first, but then it grew louder, more insistent. It seemed to echo in his mind, taunting him, mocking him. And then finally, as the first rays of sunlight began to peek over the horizon, the voice stopped. Will you heed the folklorist's warning and stay away from the lullaby? Do you feel the cold breath of the spirits on the back of your neck? If you do, run. Don't look back. Don't question it, just run. If you don't, then count yourself lucky. You've escaped the grasp of the melody that brings death. But if you do hear it, if you feel the spirits at your side, then remember, you're not alone. The spirits are here with you, dancing in the darkness, singing their mournful song. And as the night wears on, they'll grow stronger, more insistent, until you can't escape the haunting melody that brings death. Or will you be like the foolish young man and risk everything to hear the song of the spirits? Remember, once you start humming, there's no turning back. The spirits have a way of finding you, and once they do, there's no escaping the haunting melody. The folklorist collapsed to his knees, exhausted, terrified, and utterly alone. He had survived the night, but at what cost? The experience had shaken him to his core, and he knew that he could never go back to his old life. He had seen the darkness, heard the voice, and it would haunt him for the rest of his days. Another voice was joining him, singing the lullaby in perfect harmony. The folklorist froze. He tried to stop singing, but it was too late. He had broken the rules, and now the spirits had come for him. Whenever she comes across another mother who's singing a lullaby to her sleeping baby, the searching mother asks if she could hear the lullaby. Because once the sun dips below the horizon, the veil between the worlds is at its thinnest, and the spirits are at their most restless. And that's how one man's obsession with folklore led to a terrifying encounter with the unknown. Singing the lullaby after sunset is like inviting the spirits into your home, and you never know what might happen next. There he sat down and began to hum the lullaby. He started softly, hesitantly, not wanting to attract any unwanted attention. But as the notes filled the air, he grew bolder. He began to sing with more conviction, more emotion. And as he did, he felt a strange sensation wash over him. It was as if the spirits themselves were responding to his song, as if they were drawn to him, reaching out from beyond the veil. Maybe it's simply because children are more vulnerable, easier to take. He could feel the weight of the old woman's words, the gravity of the situation. He knew that if he were to break the rules, he could unleash something terrible, something that he might never be able to control. But he was a folklorist. He needed to know more. He needed to understand the full weight of this tradition, the full power of the lullaby. So he decided to take a small risk, a risk that would change his life forever. Or maybe it's because they remind the ghost of her own lost child. By stealing another child, she can momentarily recapture the joy and innocence that was stolen from her, even if it means condemning another family to a lifetime of sorrow. And when the other mother obliges, the ghost uses her supernatural powers to swap her child for the other mother's. So in the morning, when the other mother wakes up and realizes what has happened, it's already too late. The ghost has vanished, taking her child with her forever. Something like the Northern Lights. Now, just beyond your sight, where the darkness is deepest, you hear a sound. At first, it's very quiet, almost too low to hear. But then it grows stronger, taking shape. There's no mistaking it now. Someone is humming a tune right outside your door. This story was recorded over 50 years ago by a well-known folklorist during his travels across Europe. He published his findings in a book that remains one of the best-selling collections of ghost stories ever written. But he wasn't just some random guy who went around making stuff up. He was a real folklorist who dedicated his life to preserving and sharing traditional folk stories. His work had a profound impact on the field of folklore, and his books continue to be read and enjoyed by millions today. Do you believe in ghosts? I don't mean like dead people wandering around or shaking chains in the middle of the night. I'm talking about the energy that clings to things, places, even songs. The unseen force of a memory so powerful it feels like a physical presence. Some call them spirits. Some call them imprints. But all cultures share these stories of songs with a second voice, melodies that linger long after they're sung. Tonight, before you sleep, I want you to close your eyes and imagine this. I want you to listen carefully to the melody because it's one you've heard before. Somewhere in the back of your mind, a half-forgotten tune from your childhood. Maybe it's a lullaby your own mother used to sing. Maybe it's a song you once heard on the radio. Maybe it's the theme song from your favorite show. Or perhaps, just perhaps, it's the whisper of a forgotten memory, a tune that once brought you comfort now echoing through the halls of your mind. If you strain to listen, you might hear something else. At first, it's nothing more than a whisper, but as you continue to listen, it becomes clearer. Another voice joins the first, harmonizing in perfect unison. Yet you've never heard this voice before. It's coming from somewhere deep inside your soul, resonating with the tune of your forgotten past. If you open your eyes, you would see a woman standing in the doorway. Her form is translucent, shimmering like heat waves above a campfire. Tears stream down her face, each one leaving a tiny sparkling trail in its wake. Reaching out, she beckons with a finger. Her lips move, but no sound escapes. She's asking you to follow, to join her in the darkness. What do you do? This is a folktale. The exact version varies from village to village, but all versions follow the same basic structure. It's a haunting tale, and like many ghost stories, it serves as a warning to those who dare to break the rules. But why does the ghost take only children? Why not adults? Now let me tell you, this isn't just a story from some creepypasta website. So, how did he come across this chilling tale? Well, as I said, he traveled all over Europe in search of authentic ghost stories. And yet there was always one rule, one absolute rule, that no one was allowed to sing the lullaby after sunset. The folklorist listened intently, his heart pounding in his chest. That night, as the sun began its slow descent towards the horizon, the folklorist excused himself from the company of the villagers and went to a secluded cabin on the outskirts of town. Suddenly, the hairs on the back of his neck stood on end, and he could feel the darkness in the room growing thicker, heavier. In a panic, he ran from the cabin, stumbling through the darkness, desperate to escape the clutches of the spirits. But wherever he went, the voice followed. He spent the rest of his life sharing the story of the melody that brings death with anyone who would listen, hoping to warn them of the dangers that lay ahead. And now, my friends, it's time for you to make a choice. Now I'll ask you one last time. Do you hear the humming?